Welcome to the Portland chapter of the EdTechWomen. It is our inaugural event and we are happy to welcome you. Before I tell you what we are, I'm going to tell you what we're not. We are not a book club, although we might read some of the same books. We're not a craft club, although we might work together on projects. We're not a gym, although we may walk down a road together. So let me welcome you, introduce you to our founding mothers, Linda Samick, Anna Berardi, Robin Ashford, Susanna Stieg, and I'm Debbie Espinor. So I'm going to do a bit of an acrostic here and take us down some of the letters that make us special as women in education. First of all, we're about digital fluency for life. And we want to mentor younger women and girls and getting them into feeling comfortable with technology. We're less about the tools and more about the design. We're architects for the future when it comes to education and technology. So, D is for discovery. Discovery consists of seeing what everybody else has seen and thinking what nobody else has thought. So let's discover each other as people, as professionals, as some of the networks that we can create by working together. T is for technology, and believe it or not, at some point a pink tractor was the beginning of technology. Technology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes. And from the conversion of natural resources into simple tools, it's a chip embedded into a contract. Technology pushes and pulls us to change in ways that we can't even imagine yet. E is for encourage. Our hope is that we find some like-minded folks to journey with us down the road, and in the process we might teach each other to not fear what we do not know. C is for challenge. And we do this all the time. We use that really bad word called just. We're just a teacher. We are just a mother. We are just whatever it is we want to put there. There's not a problem with showing gratitude or a problem with humility or honesty. Most of the time, people greatly appreciate these qualities in action. However, we need to be more conscious of the doubting and negative bias that our specific choices in language portray to our audiences and what that language we use collectively says about the way we see and value ourselves in our work. If you tell a student they aren't smart enough, they won't do well in school. If you tell a friend that you don't think she's qualified enough, she's not going to go after that promotion. If we as women are constantly telling each other that we don't believe in ourselves, then our language will continue to barricade the road to our own successes. We need to actively recognize the patterns that leave us diminished, and we must constantly end the saying of just. H is for hilarious. I have a joke for you. A Spanish teacher was explaining to her class that in Spanish, unlike English, nouns are designated as either masculine or feminine. House, for instance, is feminine, la casa. Pencil, however, is masculine, el lápiz. A student asked, "What gender is a computer?" Instead of giving the answer, the teacher split the class into two groups, male and female, and asked them to decide for themselves whether computers should be masculine or feminine. Each group was asked to give 4 reasons for its recommendations. The men's group decided that the computer should definitely be of the feminine gender because, number 1, no one but their creator understands their internal logic. Number 2, the native language they use to communicate with other computers is incomprehensible to everybody else. 3, even the smallest mistakes are stored in long-term memory for possible later retrieval. And finally, 4, as soon as you make a commitment to one, you find yourself spending half your paycheck on accessories for it. Now, that's the men. The women's group, however, concluded that computers should be masculine, el computador, because, number 1, in order to do anything with them, you have to turn them on. Number 2, they have a lot of data but still don't think for themselves. 3, they're supposed to help you solve problems, but half the time they are the problem. And 4, as soon as you commit to one, you realize that if you'd waited just a little longer, you could have gotten a better model. In the end, the teacher chose the women. W is for women. As we've discussed, women often self-deprecate the value of their own voice and tend to have a lack of confidence or are afraid of failure and tend to avoid risk. This problem ultimately comes down to an issue of how we as women can be better responding to the issues and impact of the internet culture. The internet culture right now is male-driven and male-dominated due to the sheer volume of content that's been created because of one simple factor: time. More guys got into and out of the internet before women did, so there's just more stuff out there that was created by and for men. The best thing we can do as women is to change this culture and begin to close the gender gap, as to seize the opportunity to ameliorate some of the negative qualities that persist from the early internet culture. We must become active participants in online discussions and communities, and we must become content contributors to the greater body of digital knowledge by sharing the value of our voices through our own writing and our own publication. So, we invite you to join us at ETW Portland. It's our Twitter handle, and are happy that you're interested in that. If you need contact information, go to the EdTechWomen website. And that's all for today. Thank you.